Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. Today we're going to talk about leading a little bit. We're a personal development channel, and today's major lesson is that to be a successful leader, you have to do so from a dispassionate position. I'd like to illustrate that for you right now. You know, when all of this started with the coronavirus back in the beginning of March, the middle of March, and everything started to close down, the first thing that I did was I got on the computer and I looked at some of the stuff that was out there. Who was the most successful country? What were they doing? How were they going about it? And I came across a video that was interviewing a doctor in South Korea that had just was sort of their Dr. Fauci, all right. And what he did was he said, you know, everybody needs to wear a mask, you know, social distancing, all of those things. And they were recognized at that point as the #1 country. So the first thing you always do is you look to see if there's someone out there that you can model that's doing the job correctly. Now, at that particular moment in time, now we're talking the middle of March, we were not wearing masks. Nobody was in the United States. And I looked at this particular video, and one of the things that I said on this video, and I'm not claiming to be any kind of a genius, I'm just claiming to be somebody that pays attention. You know, I don't have any particular knowledge in this area, not even a little bit. But here's the point. I took a look at the guy that was their Dr. Fauci that really knew what was going on, and he said a couple of things. First of all, you need to have the social distancing. Secondly, everybody has to wear a mask. And the other thing he said was there were 3 places where the infection can come into your body. If it gets on your skin, you're okay. It's your mouth, it's your nose, and it's your eyes. And one of the things, what I predicted at that particular time was we're going to get to a point where everybody needs to be wearing a mask. Well, we're at that point right now. Apparently, except if you're the big shot in the White House. However, the other thing that I said that I don't see anybody doing is protecting your eyes. In this particular interview, the interviewer said, well, how do we protect our eyes? And the Korean doctor said, you're wearing glasses, aren't you? That'll do it. All right? So I predicted that perhaps one of the things that would happen would be a company that would start to make goggles for people that don't wear glasses. And the point is, if we know that there are 3 places where this thing can infect us, mouth, nose, eyes, all right, we're protecting the mouth and the nose, it's time to protect the eyes as well. And I don't see really anybody doing it. That's one of my predictions. Now, let's talk about the present scenario. I just heard on the news that Dr. Fauci has put himself into self-quarantine because he's come into contact with somebody that had tested positive. Hooray for Dr. Fauci. Finally a leader that's leading by example. He's not just preaching, he's following what he preaches. Kind of refreshing in today's times, isn't it? You know, now, what was the first thing that the White House did when they discovered that they had 2 people, the valet and the press secretary for Vice President Pence? What's the first thing they did? They started testing every single day. Okay, they're not talking about testing at all. Why is it important to test? Because you need to know who has it, and you need to know, you have to have the tracing. You need to know where it came from so that you can take those people and put them into quarantine to make everybody else safe. Now, I want you to recall before 9/11, those of you that are old enough to do that, when you went to the airport, it was actually pretty much a piece of cake. You got your ticket, you went in, you went to the gate, boom, you're gone. All right, piece of cake. Now you got to go through the line, don't you? You got to get your bags checked, you got to get your suitcases checked. You know, they practically make you take a urine test before you go in. You have to show 2 IDs. but that's for our protection. Now, when that first happened, we found that to be kind of a minor inconvenience. But at the time, because of the recent memory of the tragedy of 9/11, we accepted it and we said, okay, that's the new normal. Folks, this is what's going to be the new normal, or this is what should be the new normal. We need to have adequate testing so that we know who's positive, who's not. We need to know where they got it. We need to have tracing. So here's the point. Testing has got to be something that we do, if not every day, every couple of days, to monitor the situation. So that means at the workplace, that means at the doctor's office, that means all over, wherever you go. Not wherever you go, but when you go to the workplace in particular, you need to know that the people around you are not positive for this virus. We need to get the testing ramped up. We need to get the tracing ramped up. That's what the White House did, yet they're asking the American people, the people that are middle America, the people that aren't making the big bucks, the people that aren't billionaires and zillionaires, to go to the workplace and take the chance, but they're not themselves willing to take the chance. Does that make sense? My point is, this has to be the new normal. We need to ramp up the testing, and it has to be everywhere. And is it going to be inconvenient to start with? Yeah, just like going to the airport and checking through the line was inconvenient. Oh, the lines are forever, you have to get there 2 hours early. You know what? That's the price you pay for security. Guess what? We have a new thing that we have to pay, a new price we have to pay for our medical security, our health security. And that is, we have to be tested on a regular basis. Now, is this something that we're going to have to do forever? Hopefully not. Hopefully there'll be a vaccine. Hopefully there'll be some medication that when you get it, boom, they can take care of it. It's done. But for right now, that has to be the new normal. Why am I saying this? Because it's common sense. Just the same way as when everybody was saying, oh, you don't need a mask. Okay? It was common sense that, yeah, you do need a mask. I'm not running for political office. I don't have any political agenda. So I'm looking at something from a dispassionate point of view. And the same thing works in your personal life. You know, there are times when I was in my office and there were people that acted up, and I want to give them another chance, give them another chance, give them another chance. And my mentor, Bob Anderson, said, hey, get rid of them. It's too much trouble. Get rid of them. You need to have people that support you around you. On the home front, there were times when the perfect son, Eli, the perfect son, when he was much younger, used to do some stuff, and my wife would say, oh, there's an excuse here, there's an excuse there, until finally I put my foot down and I said, you know what? It's enough. What would you do if your cousin's son did exactly the same thing that Eli did? What would you recommend? He said, well, I recommend that he be spanked. Well, guess what we have to do? So you have to make your decisions from a dispassionate perspective in order to be the most productive. When you have an agenda, that filters into your mindset, and it doesn't allow you to make good, productive decisions. In the sports world, you have Bill Belichick. Boy, is there somebody that's dispassionate as far as loyalty is concerned? But boy, has his team been winning for 20 straight years? I mean, it's evidence. This evidence is all around you. Right now, what we need to do is we need to ramp up that testing. That's where our focus. And it has to be done on a federal level where we're keeping track of everything, so we know where the hotspots, we know what we have to do, and we take the action that's necessary, and not just helter-skelter it, which is what we're doing now. This state is closed, that state is open, here you can get a haircut, here you can go to the beach, here you can't. That doesn't make sense. We need to have uniformity so that our testing will be productive. And because we never end a meeting on a philosophical note, remember, leaders, be dispassionate when you're making your decisions. Let's get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.